So apparently Riot Games is releasing a physical card game based on League of Legends and Arcane. I had to say Arcane as soon as possible because I know most of the people who watch this channel watch for Arcane content, and for good reason, but at the same time, nobody can forget that Arcane is based on League of Legends, and I am saying that because if they release lore elements in League of Legends, those will probably matter in future shows they want to release as well, right? Because these days they will most likely release stuff which is consistent with the overall lore of the world of Runeterra. And I am saying that because in League of Legends the future season will be based around Noxus, and we know that the future show will most likely be around Noxus, right? Be themed around Noxus, and that's why whatever they do in League of Legends matters for us as well, or for people who only watch Arcane. And of course keep an eye out for the opening cinematic of the season, because that's going to be a lore cinematic similar to what they did in the past, last year. And of course, as I said, a physical card game. This one is a set based on Arcane, and of course thank you to this person for posting the information on the official Legends of Runeterra subreddit. Yes, Legends of Runeterra, perhaps you have already heard about that, or maybe you haven't because Riot Games is not really promoting that game. Either way, now they have a second card game, this time physical, and that's sad a bit because Legends of Runeterra is not getting enough funding, and on its own it is a very good game, especially from a lore perspective. However, because they are not generating enough money, they are releasing this version, and this time they are going to be able to charge for each pack of cards, something which is not part of Legends of Runeterra. You do not have to pay to get cards. The problem with that, in my opinion, is the price tag. If they want to release the game throughout the world, everywhere, then they have to think about an affordable price tag. And maybe you are thinking to yourself, why do you care, simply don't buy them. That's an aspect, but at the same time, if they want to create an ecosystem surrounding the card game, they have to think about that. Whenever I was a kid, yeah, I sound like a 50-year-old. Either way, whenever we were kids in the neighborhood, we were playing card games, and looking back on it, we were so poor it's actually insane. But the cards were affordable, and that's what mattered. Everyone could afford buying the cards and playing that card game. And that's what I want to see in this case as well. I will start by showing you something which is a bit expensive. I mean, it is expensive to me. If it's not for you, well, you can tell me in the comments section. They are releasing an Arcane skin set already, and as you can see, this is it. But first, what is the price? Why am I saying it's expensive? So let's actually look at it. The price is $45 for a set with a display box, and I assume this is the set itself with 6 cards. In total, $45. Do you think that's expensive? Because I do. Either way, I'm thankful this is not considered a luxury good, and I'm saying that because the last time they did something based on Arcane, they considered it a luxury good, and it ended up being $250. More specifically, they created a skin for Jinx in League of Legends, and that is, as I said, $250. If you're wondering why the text is in Chinese, that's because they are planning to release this skin set in China. I'm not sure if they are going to release it for the rest of the world, but for example, the base version of the game is going to be released in China first, and then they plan to release it for the rest of the world. If you also want to understand what the text says, don't worry, I got you. I will help you. The only thing you have to do is listen to me. Use Google Translate. So let's take a look at these cards. And maybe you're wondering, where are the rest of the characters? Echo, Mel, or Jace? Those characters, well, they are probably going to receive a skin set separately from this one in the future. Who knows? I also want to add, these look really good. And I have to make that distinction because the base version of the cards is pretty bad. And I will show them to you after we look at these ones. You also have to appreciate the attention to detail for these cards. For example, in Vi's case, the 3 is representing the amount of lines of dialogue she had in the final episode of Arcane. So as I said, these look really good. I mean, maybe that's just me, that's my opinion. You can tell me yours in the comment section. And if you ever release these in Europe, Riot Games, please send them to me as well. Thank you. So they released a video on their official Riot Games account featuring Project K, the League of Legends trading card game. Okay, I will not go through the entire thing, I will simply showcase the moments where they show us the cards, because as I mentioned, I believe the quality is pretty low. The back of the card, now that looks pretty good, but when you look at the front, it looks very low quality. Maybe that's just me, I've seen other people mentioning kind of the same thing. You can tell me your opinion in the comment section. And of course, this is the design or the art for Arcane Jinx from Legends of Runeterra. And this isn't the only moment where you can see art being used from another game. This is the splash art for Jinx in League of Legends. So they are willing to take art from League of Legends and Legends of Runeterra, and well, that's a pretty good move, because this way they are not going to spend a lot of money producing the cards, and at the same time, maybe in the future they are going to be willing to do the same in Legends of Runeterra, where they will take art from League of Legends whenever they release new champions. This way they can save money, but maybe that's just me and people really like to see custom-made art in that game. Then if you go further in the trailer, you can see multiple card backs, and they are using these two throughout the video. From what you can see right about here, you can see the black one, the blue one. These are the card backs used, and I believe they are going to have multiple card backs and you can use whichever one you like, similar to how you can do that in Legends of Runeterra. Personally, I prefer the black one, so that's what I'm going to use if I ever purchase any of these cards. But what they have to change until that happens is the main design, which is, as I said, pretty bad. I mean, overall, this is pretty cool. I'm eager to see what they are going to do next. I will probably purchase some of these if the price is right. I mean, Riot, you can always send some of these my way. They also plan to release tournaments for this game. From what I can tell, that's their plan, because I saw a video on their social media account, the Chinese social media account, and that's where they showcased a guy going through this tournament, right? A promotional video. So that's probably something they have in mind. And of course, I understand this is probably not something you really care about if you only watch Arcane, but I think this is pretty cool, and you will also be able to buy something in real life with your favorite characters from Arcane. The idea is that most of the merch is either too expensive or not that good, so there you have it.